author, and I believe in the power of self-reflection to generate insights that make the world a nicer place to be. That's a broad space. I chose the direction of journaling over the course of my thesis. So journals have a long tradition from the days of Tolstoy and Da Vinci all the way to today. So everyone kind of relates to the idea that the handwritten note, there's something sentimental about that. There's something really tangible. And with the digital space, there's the value of rich data, like geotagging and augmenting information. But it still feels a little bit mechanical, machine-like, and functional. So the underlying vision for my project was bring journals into the 21st century, that's where we are now, and capture the emotional touches of physical journals, which is something that we all have some exposure with. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to my concept and the persona that it impacts.
Meet Jamie, a young attorney and aspiring screenwriter. In her spare time, she loves going to places like bookstores, coffee shops, and stores like Paper Source and Papyrus. To unwind and reflect, she keeps physical and digital journals to think about career, relationships, and random ideas. She likes the sentimentality of the tangible and digitizes the best stuff. But this leaves her with many pseudo-journals that are fragmented and all over the place. In many ways, she's a half-starved journaler. And her journals are not always where she needs them, or when she feels prompted to reflect. Here's where PENSIVE comes in. At certain times that she can modify, Jamie sees a gentle push on her mobile device from PENSIVE. On the way to work, at the office, or on the weekend around town, she might listen to something, overhear a conversation, and have moments that cause her to pause and think across many organic life dimensions. She collects those thoughts on the materials that she has on hand. At night, PENSIVE gently nudges her again, and she can ask for prompts when she wants some inspiration. Later on, PENSIVE reminds Jamie to take all her reflective fragments and easily digitize them using PENSIVE and PENSIVE marks. PENSIVE auto-detects the date and common journal categories like career, family, and love from unique features of the PENSIVE stickers. PENSIVE, gentle prompting, smarter organization, and engaging animation.
So that's PENSIVE. A few of those features you saw, I'm going to demo right now, just to kind of outline what that experience might feel like for someone like me. So we have this one thing, this physical journal. We have her mobile device that she has on her pretty much all day, every day. So if I'm Jamie, sorry, I have on me. And these nice stickers. So every once in a while, I'll be writing in one or both or carrying these around. And more often in the evening than in the daytime, PENSIVE will nudge me. And I'll say, it's this evening, I'm feeling reflective, sure, I'll write something. So I could write something in this canvas, or I could go to it for prompts. So they might ask something like, a year ago today, this is what you wrote. So some common journal entries or some common prompts that a lot of people like to get. It might ask something that it knows about me, about where I am, and what's going on in my life, and kind of check in. Or something about my personality and my values. So I can respond, I can fill it in, and I'm doing it in one of these two things at all times. What happens though is, let's say every 2 weeks, and I can modify this, PENSIVE reminds me, hey, you have these really cool things that can help these two things talk to each other. So let's say I'm Jamie, I've been thinking a lot about my career as an attorney, really struggling with it, and I've been talking to my friend Colin for a while about it. There's an entry that I wrote that I want to capture. So I take my career sticker, put it in the right-hand corner of my journal, and if I want to, I can enter in a date. So that date helps PENSIVE detect more easily and more lightweight than current technology what this entry is and where it should go. So it finds this position of the date field. It takes the number of pixels of this unique color and the image, and it knows exactly where it should go. So I take a picture of this, and it places it in November 7th in the career space, which is exactly where it should go. So it's all well and good that, it's all well and good that we go from this to this. But what if I could go from this back to this? So another neat feature of PENSIVE would be to take the digital entries of PENSIVE, and perhaps one day down the line as Jamie, I might want to have a gift to myself, my future spouse, my future kids as legacy. I might actually print a hardbound copy of all my integrated entries. And this would be kind of for like the Minted community, the Etsy community, and that crowd. So those are the features of PENSIVE, and that's the experience for Jamie. How did I get here? Kind of a messy process. There are two main insights. The first was that there are certain stimulus and settings that journalers react the best to. They're good times for reflection. So whether it's Allison saying that she spent a flight writing about a job decision, or Sammy, or in this room somewhere, there we go, saying that the last long entry she wrote, that the promotion was late at night and at home in bed. Or Michael reacting to early prototypes that I showed comparing blank canvases with canvases with prompts, saying like a blank space is less helpful to me than something like a prompt or a reminder. And then another phrase coined by a user was the phrase pseudo-journals. So this idea of false start or half-start journals, that people keep different journals for different reasons like Dan, or go back and forth between different types of journals, whether it's loosely sheets of paper, Evernote, or iNote. So you can kind of tell like intuitively what the emotional values would be of being able to capture things. The emotional things of not being able to capture things, some users also shared. So whether it's I wish I had kept a journal when I was deciding to go to seminary school, or I got really upset that I might have lost a voicemail message with my father's voice. These are kind of emotional distinctions between having and not having your reflections captured. So the two opportunities that I was looking at to help Jamie with integrating her reflections were leveraging prompting and better integrating or organizing her reflections. So I tried a few things, and one experience that I want to tell you a little bit more about was an experiment where I played the role of an app, pushing questions to a set of people in different cohorts and hearing what their responses were. And I was trying to figure out if there were better types of questions and better times in which these questions could be given to generate more reflective responses and generate more reflections. So it turned out that there were better types of questions that were provocative but not presumptuous, that could be human-generated because the technology for doing that isn't quite there yet. And there are common good questions like, did anything surprise you today? And timing intuitively, data-wise, and anecdotally, we kind of know that evening is better than daytime for reflections, and it created this theme of gentle prompting, the idea that keep it timed, but don't keep it creepy. You know, don't spam me, don't invade me with all of these texts all the time. So frequency would have been important. And the intelligence behind how this happens and how this works, I can talk about during the fair. In the second space, I was looking at integration and organization. And one of the early findings of my research was that journalers keep common categories across career, like Jamie said, like relationships. And so I wondered if that itself could be a solution more recently to the problem of integration. So I tried a few different features and tested initial versions of this PENSIVE experience in retail stores, like bookstores, like card shops, because that's where someone like Jamie would spend time at. So Lee, the store manager of the art supply chain, said I could see this in what we call the gift section, and we could see the crossover between analog and digital being useful when I was a design student. Kim saying she hates electronics, but she liked this idea. And Greg, the aspiring filmmaker who goes to bars and handwrites things and digitizes the best stuff, and that's where I got that. So I hope the last 10 minutes has convinced you that there's some opportunity in this integrated space, whether it's for Minted or Etsy or Hallmark or someone like that. And if you'd like to get your hands on the physical book or the actual experience with the mobile device, come find me at the fair. And that is it.